They did it. They somehow win in Colorado. Game 5, most important game of the series, tied 2-2. Wow. I'm in total shock the way that they pulled it off. The total team effort. You know, they say you're never out of a series until you lose at home. Well, Colorado didn't even need to win on the road, right? The home team, they get 4 games at home. Vegas has to win a game on the road, and they somehow do it tonight. Hell of a game, hell of a performance by a lot of different players. I could not be more proud of this team. Could not be more proud of Mark Stone, our captain, and Flower. What a performance he had to keep us in the game. All around, I could not be happier as a Knights fan. All right, so let's get into this game, right? So after the last 3 games, ever since second period of game 2, Vegas has absolutely owned Colorado. They've owned every analytic stat. They've owned time of possession. They've outshot them. I think I saw a stat. It was 110-52. They've outshot Colorado 5-on-5 since game 2, right? Total domination. And there's an article for those of you who have The Athletic. Dom Lischizin, I think his name is. He wrote up a pretty good article about what the Knights are doing to Colorado and just how impressive it is. Just a little quick gist of it is basically since I started tracking, I think the major analytics, since the 07-08 season, there have been 3 times where a team has, basically the way the Knights have dominated Colorado, that it's happened in the playoffs. And 2 times it was actually last year. Once was game 1 of Vegas and Vancouver, and then another was, I believe, one of the 7-1 shellacking Colorado gave Arizona, right? So to see Vegas do that kind of performance to Colorado, who is in no way, shape, or form a Vancouver or an Arizona, is it's quite impressive. So if you have that, definitely go read that article. It gives quite a bit of insight on kind of just how amazing and how incredible what the Knights have been able to do, right? So the game starts, and I mean, I don't know how, as any fan, you don't like playing on the road, but especially playing in Colorado's building, where after tonight, Colorado, I think it was their 17, like they broke Vegas obviously wins, ends Colorado, I think, 17-game home winning streak, something along those lines dating back to the regular season. Absolutely insane what Colorado's been able to do on home ice, right? And of course, anybody, probably Knights players too, got PTSD of that game 1, and then especially game 2 when they massively outperformed Colorado, but still ended up losing in overtime, right? So the game starts, and it's kind of like how each game has started. Both teams kind of firing chances back and forth. But there's something different about tonight, and Colorado was in no way, shape, or form that same team that Vegas had dominated these past 3 games. Colorado looked like they were on a mission. They looked like they did not want to lose. They looked like something lit a fire up under their asses. I don't know what it was, but this is more of even keel and more balanced and how we thought this series would go in the first place, right? All right, so the game gets going, and one thing that I noticed kind of right away, Vegas' forecheck, and it's been something that's been very prevalent this whole series, is Vegas is definitely the more physical and the bigger team, and you definitely notice it when they're on the forecheck. Colorado, I mean, when Vegas' forecheck is going, it really feels like Colorado has no answers. The thing about Colorado, though, is they're so fast and they're so skilled that if you're not executing to almost a perfect degree, then Colorado's going to slip out of it. Somebody's going to make that pass, and they're going to get out of the zone, right? Well, first period, it's kind of back and forth, a little bit here, a little bit there. I noticed Vegas has very good sticks on the ice, breaks up a lot of those transition attacks that Colorado loves to attack with. When you have good sticks on the ice, and all you got to do is just get that, you knock that puck off a stick, and then sometimes that's all it takes to end a chance, right? And then one thing I also noticed is Pete DeBoer, he made a couple lineup changes that I thought were kind of interesting. So Revo was suspended for games 2 and 3, brings him back for game 4. Revo actually gets an assist on a goal. But he takes him out this game, which I think is the right move. After what happened in game one, that whole debacle, I think it was probably just the better move. And then to be quite honest, when Colorado's at home, and they got that momentum, you're going to need more skilled players. And so Colasar got bumped down to Reeves' spot, and Janmark, who has been out since that dirty hit from Graves, came in, and he slotted into the third line. And Janmark would be very pivotal in this game, as we'll find out, right? So first period, not too much is going on. Definitely chances here and there both ways. But for the most part, it's kind of like a stalemate. Both teams trying to establish something that they can't. So the best chance in the first for either team was, Colorado. Full credit to them. What they do is when they can get their cycle going on the forecheck, it is a thing of beauty, man. They got speed. Players like to, dash in. They like to, definitely the D-men like to pinch. And when the D-men pinch, you got players kind of running routes. I mean, they look for that one-timer, right? And I don't know how Mikko Rantanen didn't score here, It's a lot happens in a hockey game. A lot of times, a lot of fans on shots. Clear misses happen. Clear misses happen in games. It's crazy what happens in a hockey game and what gets missed. Wide open nets, things like that, right? I don't know how Mikko misses this one, but Knights definitely got away with one on that. So gets to the end, and this is probably the most frustrating thing that can happen to your team, right? On the road, anytime you end a period tied on the road, it's a good thing. Gives you a chance to win. You never want to play down on the road, with the crowd and everything. And so we get to the very, very end of the first period. And Brandon Saad comes into the zone, countdown about 5 seconds, looks up at the clock to see how much time he's got left, and he has a defender on him. I forget exactly who it is. But he kind of fakes a little move, goes around, and we're talking maybe a couple feet off of the blue line, and he just chucks it at the net. Full credit to Saad. It was a perfectly placed shot. Fleury it's to his blocker side, or his stick side, I think. And he goes like this with the glove to try to catch it, misses it, and it goes right up over the shoulder and in. And on the clock it reads 0.8 of a second left. I don't know how much more frustrated you can be. The first period, Knights had chances, Colorado had chances, unfortunately couldn't get anything. And then of all goals, flukiest of all fluky goals, that one goes in. Flowers gotta have that one. That's just, this is the playoffs. This isn't a regular season game where you can brush that off. Like, if that would have ended up costing this team, oh boy. Thank God it didn't turn out that way, but man, you cannot let that kind of a goal. You just cannot allow that, right? So, of course, all the momentum to Colorado. But we get to the second period, and so far in this series, the Knights have absolutely dominated the second period. It's been their best. You got the long change, and when Vegas, what they do best is their forecheck. And once they get the forecheck and the cycle going, especially in the second period when it's a long change, they can hem you in your own zone for good minute and a half. And then on top of it, their bench is right next to the offensive zone. So it's very impressive when the Knights are cycling and they can actually perform a line change while they're doing it in the offensive zone. It's really a thing of beauty. So that thing kind of got totally flipped this period. Colorado, they were good in the first. They were much better, even better in the second, really. Flower more than makes up for that fluky goal he gave up. Vegas they just did not have it in this second period. It really looked like altitude or whatever. They looked tired. I don't know what happened, but Colorado found their legs, and they were, like I said, they're cycling, they're moving the puck. It was a thing of beauty. If it was not for Flower, it definitely could have been 3 or 4-0 after the second. But luckily, Vegas only goes into the third down 2-0. But to Colorado's credit, finally they did. They pulled a Vegas. They were cycling the puck. It was a good minute and a half shift, and they got Vegas's fourth line hemmed in the zone. Couldn't really do anything. It almost looked like they were just trying to do like a tight box. They looked exhausted, and sure enough, Colorado capitalized. Beautiful little one-timer from Donskoy. Nothing Fleury could have done on that one. it just, when you're hemmed in your own zone like that, your defense, you know, they're not playing as how they need to be. And, you know, very fortunate that that was the result after the second. I mean, it was pretty bad. So full credit to Flower for keeping us in that game. Nothing really, I mean, you can't blame the fourth line. It's just you get hemmed in your own zone like that. Colorado's a very good and dangerous team. They're fast, and they had it. They had it. They had it this period. Vegas did. And so we go into the third down 2-0. And so as a Knights fan, anytime you're down 2-0 on the road in the playoffs against a team like Colorado, I mean, how much faith can you really have? This was a total flip of the script from the previous 3 games. Colorado made Vegas look human again. Colorado, this is the team that we all thought we would see throughout this series, not, you know, the Colorado team that Vegas made look like Arizona and Vancouver, right? So definitely a little nerve-wracking. I think before the game was over, I thought whoever won Game 5 was going to win this series. Now Vegas gets to go back home for Game 6, where they haven't lost to Colorado yet. Versus if Colorado won, Game 6 would be in Vegas. You know, all momentum is on Colorado's side. And even then, you'd have to go back to Colorado for a Game 7, where had they lost tonight, they'd have been 0-3 in the series, right? So, Game 5, pretty pivotal, pretty important. And the third period was definitely one for the ages, right? So the third period starts, and right away, the announcers are even just saying how Vegas looked tired, how they just didn't have it, and they need to get something quick, and they need to get some momentum in their favor. Sure enough, Vegas, that third line, Matthias Janmark gets inserted back into the lineup after that headshot by Graves, so he missed games 2, 3, and 4. And I don't know what the hell Burakovsky was doing here. He had an easy clear, and Matthias Janmark, he just put the stick down trying to prevent it, and somehow he does. Blocks the clear, goes right to Nick Waugh, sees Alex Tuch, who's kind of sprinting towards the net, gets the puck to him in between 2 defenders, and the puck is actually like bouncing on Tuch, and Tuch through mid-air hits it, goes right up under the armpit of Philip Grubauer and into the net. Unbelievable play by all 3 of them. I mean, Janmark with the defensive stick. How pivotal has Janmark been these playoffs? I mean, Vegas probably doesn't win Game 7 without him. You know, Game 1, he kind of took one for the team in the sense. I think that really fired up Vegas, and you saw the results these past couple games. And then now this play, I mean, I give more fault to Burakovsky. I don't know what the hell he was doing, dude. Just get that puck out. Like, you're up 2-0. What are you doing? But yeah, messes up. Lets the Knights capitalize. Very opportunistic, and hell of a goal by Alex Tuch. So momentum, it kind of definitely switches right here. And so we keep going, and not too long after, within the first 5 minutes, Vegas ties it up. It's Colorado, like I said, what they love to do is they love to attack in transition. And the way this play happens, it's maybe a minute and a half later. Colorado's coming through the neutral zone. Marchi tries to, I think it's Landeskog who has the puck. Marchi tries to poke check him, and he misses. So Landeskog gets by him. It's a 4-on-2. And so Landeskog passes all the way to, I believe Landeskog is the first, then there's the next 4, right? I believe he passes to the 4th, all the way over. Well, I think it was a miscommunication between whoever was in front of Graves, and it bounces off his left skate, and it bounces right to Wild Bill. So, in transition attack, Vegas goes right into the zone. It's a 3-on-2. Wild Bill goes in, he cuts in, looks for the shot, realizes it's not there, but he notices Marchi's left all alone right to the side of the net. And it's kind of fortunate, a Colorado player, I forget who it is, but he ends up like blocking the shot, or blocking the pass. He slows it down enough for Marchi, just perfectly right on his stick, and just taps it in. Beautiful goal. That is now number 6 for Marchessault. That is now number 6 for this guy. Absolutely unbelievable the way Marchi has been playing. You know, it's good to see an original misfit. Basically having kind of playoffs he had in 2018, how pivotal he was in that run, and especially against Winnipeg. I mean, to see him doing what he's doing, the dude is like a little fireball. Plays with a lot of heart, and just could not be happier with his performance. So Vegas ends up tying it up. And you could feel the building and kind of the momentum, the crowd, everything just change. And as you know, once you've tied it up, you don't want to get your hopes up too much. I mean, you just now were able to finally score and tie up the game. Colorado's been dangerous all night. You know what I mean? It's definitely not comforting, but it was a crazy sequence of events. I don't know what Colorado was doing again here. I mean, just a bad pass leads to a transition the other way, and just like that, within the first 5 minutes of the third period, it's a tie game. You want to talk about killer instinct and just what's missing with this Avs team? I mean, that would have been it. You know, you're up 2-0 in the third, and you let that slip within the first 5 minutes. It's really a head scratcher. I don't know if it's more credit to Vegas or just Colorado let it happen. I mean, maybe a little bit of both. But if I was the coach of Colorado, I'd be livid with the performance right there. That's unacceptable. That kind of stuff cannot happen. So after Vegas scores to tie it up, Colorado, they definitely responded. The most dangerous chances from here on out were Colorado's. Colorado, they try to respond kind of shortly after, and I think it's a couple minutes later, Theodore, under pressure, just kind of a boneheaded play, puck over the glass. This is a penalty you can't deny. It's in the rule books, is what it is. You cannot give Colorado free power plays like that, and I've thought, you've seen what Colorado's power play has done all series, all playoffs. I thought for sure they would score here. Full credit to Vegas, though. They pulled it out in that number 1 PK in the league. It stepped up. Makar had a beautiful chance. He actually blew a tire kind of going around the net. I think if he doesn't fall down there, it would have been a high danger chance, maybe even a goal. There's another part kind of at the end of the power play where Mark Stone, he reads the pass. The guy's not even looking, but Mark Stone sticks it, that long stick. He sticks it out, just breaks it up enough. That would have been a one-timer shot. Who knows if Fleury would have gotten it or not, So crazy good PK for Vegas. I was very, very impressed with how they killed that off. And towards these last 5 to 7 minutes, Colorado, Mikko Rantanen has a chance. He even throws his hands up. He pulls, a Riley Smith from the other game. The entire crowd, half their hands go up. But this time, nobody stops playing, luckily. Flower doesn't stop playing. But, he thought he hit it off the crossbar and it went in. But no, it went off the crossbar, went out, over to the boards, right? Definitely kind of got lucky on that one. It's definitely a hard dropper, hard sinker, whatever you want to call it, when you see the opposing team and their hands go up. Yeah, it's never fun. So after that, it's, Colorado, they pressed. I don't think they wanted to get it to overtime. Tyson Jost had a good, on a 3-on-2, kind of passes it to, I think it's Comfort, right back to Jost, literally maybe 5-10 feet in front of the net, and Fleury just gets a piece off the shoulder. Colorado had their chances. It was Flower who definitely kept Vegas in this. This game probably shouldn't even gone to overtime. This game felt like a complete repeat of Game 2, but kind of the opposite. Colorado ended up winning Game 2 when they had no business winning that game. Vegas in overtime, and then Vegas wins this one in overtime when they really had no business winning this one either. They were outplayed. This was the shots at the end were 25-30 in favor of Colorado. First time that Colorado outshot Vegas in the last 3 games. So definitely a little nerve-wracking, especially towards the end there. Colorado, all it takes is they've got plenty of finishers. They've got the most dangerous guy in the league on their team. So we get to the end of the third. Up until the third period, Vegas had only had 2 shots on goal from forwards. Right, so it just goes to show you how much Colorado was dictating play, how much they were the better team. And so they gave kind of some statistics about overtime. So Colorado is 1-0 in overtime this postseason. Vegas is 0-2, and Vegas, going back just in their history, is 0-4 in their last 4 playoff overtime games. Right, definitely not good signs there, right? So overtime starts, and right off the bat, 10 seconds in, Colorado gets a grade A chance. Kind of a little defensive lapse. I don't know if it was just, first start of the period, first 10 seconds, you're trying to get into it or whatever, but just a shot, a bad angle shot. Fleury kicks a rebound, bounces right in front of him. And luckily Comfort doesn't shoot. He had a wide open half of the net to shoot at, but he shot it right in Fleury's chest. Thank the Lord right there. That could have been the game easily. And so it's not much later, you know. Right after that, a little back and forth real quick, but it gets to the point where Ryan Graves has the puck in the offensive zone and he shoots. Mark Stone, that Pacioretty line is on the ice. So Mark Stone blocks the first one, goes right back to Graves. Graves creeps up a little bit, pinches a little bit, I should say, shoots it again. And this time it was blocked, and I think Mark Stone, he noticed it right away. And he noticed that it would go to Pacioretty. So Mark Stone takes off, gets to Pacioretty. As soon as Patches sees Stone, he hits him in the pass. And Mark Stone, we all know, Mark Stone is not the fastest skater. He's not the best skater. But he beats Ryan Graves, and I forget who else was on the ice. I think it was Gerard maybe. So Stone is going as fast as he can, and he scores. He does the same exact shot that he did in Game 5 against the Wild on Cam Talbot. Same exact shot, same exact setup, and he scores again. And if he would have waited a millisecond later, Ryan Graves had dived, swinging the stick, and he would have gotten his stick on the puck, and it, would have gone sideways. But Mark Stone, I don't think you could have placed it any better of a shot. I mean, it was right up over the shoulder. Beautiful snipe from Mark Stone, the captain, in overtime. Unbelievable what he's meant to this team. That was his first goal of this series. And full hats off. I'm just shocked at this team. You're down 2-0 going into the third. You're thinking there's no way you're going to win that game. But this is what a Stanley Cup winner does, right? They find, you might not be having your best game, but they find a way. They come back, they tie it. And then in overtime, 50 seconds in, just a beautiful pass from Pacioretty. Mark Stone, I mean, I don't know how you can give more effort than that. The dude plays with such heart. Go look at his celebration. I mean, you want to talk about somebody who cares, somebody where this is their life, like that's all they care about. It's really a sight to see. So, yeah, Vegas somehow pull it out. Could not be happier, could not be more impressed with this team. And I'm just shocked. I mean, you go down 0-2 for the first time in their history. They go down 0-2 in a series, win the next 3, and now they have a chance at home, where they haven't lost to Colorado yet, to clinch on home ice for Game 6. Words can't really express. It's unbelievable what they've been able to do. Game MVP, I'm gonna give to Flower. We don't have any business getting to overtime, let alone winning the game, if he's not as good as he was. Even that fluky goal, things happen. Marc-Andre Fleury definitely made up for it, in the second and third periods, and definitely overtime too. And then Mark Stone. I don't know how you give it to anybody else. The captain, you need your best players to be your best players. And so Mark Stone does exactly that, pulls it out. Vegas, they win on the road. They just need to win one more. Yeah, Game 6 on Thursday. Y'all take care. Thank you.